I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. The House Judiciary Committee held a markup Thursday on gun control legislation. During the meeting, Congressman Chip Roy called on lawmakers to, quote, wait on the facts regarding the police response to the Uvalde school shooting. The Department of Justice will review law enforcement's response to the Texas school shooting after local police were criticized for not quickly confronting the shooter. Listen in for more from the Texas Republican.
Gentleman yields back for purposes. Mr. Roy, seek recognition.
Want to ask to speak on the amendment?
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll have more to say on the underlying measure in a little bit. I just wanted to make a couple of comments just because there's been a lot of reference to what did or did not occur in Uvalde. The district I represent does not contain Uvalde. It borders Texas 21. I know a lot of the people in the community in Uvalde, and including some of the folks involved. I got a phone call last Tuesday because I had been trading messages with the mayor of Uvalde, and then we missed each other. And so then I just asked the mayor what was happening, and the mayor texted me, and I was pulling it up here, and he said, well, this is before we knew anything. The reports weren't out. He said, the reports, it looks like 18 to 20 young kids. The quote, asshole shot them and stacked them like firewood. We've all been reeling since then, knowing what that meant to a community, a close-knit community like Uvalde. And it's horrific, and it's the face of evil. I don't know whether or not a resolution or a sense of Congress by my friend from Ohio will make a significant difference. But I do know, I appreciate what the gentleman is trying to focus on, which is how do we prevent bad actors from carrying out bad acts? And then what do we do in that? And how do we respond to it? There's a lot of commentary going on about what police did or didn't do in the school in Uvalde. And I would just ask for members to respect the process of looking through and determining the facts before we pass judgment. The gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gates, made the point that there's still a lot of unknown facts, and there's still investigations underway, state, federal, and local. I've gotten multiple different accounts, even in the last 2 days. We saw yesterday, for example, the day before, the report of the propped open door by the teacher turned out not to be exactly accurate. The door had been propped open, or at least the facts as I currently understand it, the door had been propped open when the teacher went out. That was a violation of protocol, no doubt. But then when she heard gunfire, allegedly went in and knocked the prop out. But then the door didn't lock. All right. Well, that's a fact that I don't even know. Like, go pursue that fact. My point is, the entire country was then saying, well, what's wrong with this teacher who propped this door? And then that caused, well, then imagine, and I happen to know some facts about this, what that meant to that teacher when everybody's out across America saying how, blaming her. And then now focus on the police and blaming, 19 cops or 7 cops or 3 cops. I get a different quote from every person talking about it, standing in the hallway like they're sitting around with their thumb up their rear while bad things are happening. Well, that's not true fully based on what I understand from a number of accounts. I'm not here to defend the officers on the scene. I'm not here to criticize the officers on the scene. I'm here to say that let's wait on the damn facts, because these are people, and we ought to be making sober judgments about what actually occurred and making policy accordingly. Because what if the hardening and the steel doors were actually part of the difficulty of entering? What if the key wasn't accessible and there wasn't appropriate timing and training for getting the key? I don't know. There are a lot of facts that I'm still waiting to reserve judgment on. I would just ask that our colleagues, both sides of the aisle, to be honest, but I've heard it from my Democratic colleagues today making judgments about cops standing there. And I don't believe that was true for the vast majority of the law enforcement on the scene who are trying to get access to and try to protect those kids. And they don't deserve to be lumped into one group. We can make determinations about who made what decisions when the reports come out, and then pass judgment accordingly. But we're still getting reports and facts on that. I feel really strongly about that. And I believe that no matter where this occurs in the country, get the facts and then figure out policy. There have been a number of things that have been raised about AR-15s. And I don't know how much time I have left because I don't have a clock in front of me, and I apologize for not being in person. I couldn't get a flight to work out for me this morning as I intended. And I have more to say about it, but a lot is being said about the AR-15, about being a weapon of war and what all it can do. And that, going through concrete, going through cinder blocks and, ripping people apart, and that it is a weapon of war. But the fact of the matter is, it's more accurate to say that a Remington 700 bolt action rifle or a 30-06 are weapons of war more than the AR-15, which is not. Now, it's obviously a cousin to some degree, but it is a semi-automatic weapon. And I've heard reference to automatic weapons. The gentlelady from Texas referred to automatic weapons. But you can't get an automatic weapon without a permit. It is a semi-automatic weapon. And I've heard a lot of people here saying, well, why can't you get on board with this legislation? Because, it's just limiting a magazine or limiting...
The time of the gentleman has expired. For what purpose does the gentlelady from Georgia seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to strike the last word.